You're ready, let us know when you're ready.
Experiences.
Okay, yeah, what we're going to talk about is, Rick, what's your background? Your
Healthcare IT.
Healthcare IT.
Healthcare IT, yeah. 4 venture-backed startups and 1 growth equity.
Okay, 1 growth equity. So what can you tell us about your experience from dealing with the Blackmore Connects division of Blackmore Partners, Inc., and its process of education and getting execs ready for private equity, including its websites and webinars? As it's coming together, what are you getting?
Big question. I guess I'll start with the volume of services at first. When you first come to the website, you see the volume of services, don't be daunted by it, right? It's voluminous, but it's important that it's that deep and it's that broad, right? The webinars are very helpful. The type of folks that get in touch with Blackmore and then start to enter their process, I've now met a bunch today. It's a very unique group, both on the private equity side and on the executive side.
Say more about that.
Well, you can tell a couple things. First of all, it's a unique service. It's a unique offering.
Yeah,
right?
there isn't anything like...
There isn't, and I can tell you, having been around the venture side and the growth equity side, now looking at the private equity side a little bit differently, I haven't seen any other services just like it.
And what would you call the service? What is this service?
Well, I'll liken it, I've told the story 3 or 4 times today to some of your private equity guys, having presented at Pacific Crest, banker-driven conference,
Yes.
Montgomery Securities, banker-driven conference, JP Morgan earlier this year, all of them within 45 days of one another. It feels a little bit like each of them in a certain way. In other words, you got the speed dating component,
Yeah.
right? Works well, make a quick contact, you learn your elevator speech. If you're good at it by the time you leave, that's a really big plus,
Yes.
right? If you came and you sort of weren't ready, you get good real fast.
Yes, you
so
do.
Big plus. Putting both parties in that I will show you my stuff and sell you, if you will, and why I'm here, is a unique forum.
Yes, it is. It's mutual selling.
It absolutely is.
Yeah, they're
And
trying to
so
sell you on their...
they're coming thinking the private equity world that way. The exec is coming hopefully prepared to have that conversation. So very unique. And by the way, a little different than Pat Crest and Montgomery in that way, but we won't go there. The other thing that I think is important about what I've experienced today at the conference is when you bring your thesis, as you coach folks, which is wise, and you're into the discussion with the private equity firm, it absolutely levels the playing field. So they're not just selling you and vice versa, it levels the playing field.
Why is that important?
Well,
As an executive.
you're an executive. You've run multi-$100-million P&Ls.
Yeah.
Just because you're in a change doesn't mean that's any less valuable.
That's
it's
right.
more valuable than it ever was,
Yes.
especially to the people you're talking to.
That's correct.
But I think human nature is, well, I'm in a transition, I'm not. No. Put the thesis out there, have the conversation, level the playing field.
Yes, yeah. And you heard one of the things that over and over from private equity, they're hiring lots of executives, but they're not hiring until they meet you face to face.
It's an old-fashioned thing, and it's never going to change. Everything's web and digital and LinkedIn and this and that. You still have to create a relationship, press the flesh, shake the hand, look them in the eye, ask some of the tougher questions. If you're a CEO, they want to know you can sell. Can you give your pitch? Can you hold your own? If they ask you a tough question or this or that or whatever. So at very first
It's
blush,
a test.
it's a test. And it's both ways.
Yeah.
And it works really well when you put people in a room like this, especially a sweaty, hot one, which would be my only suggestion.
Yeah,
bigger room with more space.
I agree.
So no, it's been good. It's really good.
I've been hearing executives, they're already, the back and forth is leading, hey, could you do this for us? Could you do that for us?
I just got my first diligence request.
Well, so
RCM, I have a very deep focus in healthcare, which is known as revenue cycle management, or RCM. Firms that weren't on my dance card heard that I have that, so they sought me out, and all of a sudden, one of them's doing diligence. Can you help me in the diligence process? Which is speak for, we might want you involved later.
Yep.
There's maybe a
It
CEO
is. That's
thing coming.
correct.
There could be a board role coming. There could be 10 other things coming. Or we just want to get to know you better. But either way, that is really good as part of the process to have those requests come.
Right.
Then if they want to ask you about your thesis and you talk about, it's important to be able to say where the puck's going, which is an analogy a couple of you guys used today.
Yeah.
I'm a basketball guy, but the puck thing, it still works. When you let them know you know where the puck's going and they're working on their thesis, they like to get smarter too.
Yeah.
And if you can find somebody that you can balance that off with, That whole diligence process is a good place to start it, and it's a good get to know you thing.
So think about how many meetings you had today. How much time would it have, if knowing what you know about private equity, to get this many meetings?
Well, if you just start from cold calling
Yeah.
or even networking, LinkedIn or whatever, I can't even give you a straight answer on the amount of time because it's weeks, if not months,
Yes.
to get through, to make a connection. And then as one of the guys I was sitting with said to me, well, it's a little awkward because I'm sitting next to my competition on the panel. So what's your guy at XYZ firm you know going to do for you? Is he really going to introduce you to the other private equity firm? Maybe not. So even the networking thing in a traditional sense is stilted, whereas this is very open. As I said earlier, on level playing.
Level playing field. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Glad to have you.